To another video here at Red Dirt Reptiles. For those of you who don't know, I'm Corey Samples, and for those of y'all joining us again, let's get right into it. This video, we're going to cover breeding. Breeding is typically very easy with leopard geckos. As a matter of fact, most of us in the reptile industry who do breed typically start off learning with something like this because they're just so easy to breed and they're easy to learn with and to see what it is you're doing right and what it is you're doing wrong, and really get to see the changes and fluctuation of temperature and what that causes. So they're, again, really easy and really great to learn from. This here is a female, and typically you can breed between 3 to 4 females per male. Now you can house 3 to 4 females with the male, and as a matter of fact, you could probably breed 10, 20, 30 different females to a male in its lifetime. But if you're housing them together, typically 3 to 4 females at a time. You want them at least between 50 to 75 grams, so no smaller than what Coco was in my last video. She is about 54 to 55 grams. You really don't want anything smaller than that. This girl right here would be a great size to add to. Whenever you go to start breeding with these guys, make sure you're paying attention for aggression. A little bit of biting is okay. A little bit of aggression is okay from the male side. But if you're starting to see injuries occur, like real injuries occur, bleeding and such like that, go ahead and separate them. It's not worth losing one of your animals or watching one of your animals get torn up when you could just wait for a better time and maybe that animal's got a better attitude, and so it's a little easier to breed. Again, a little biting is okay and normal. Let's see. Check every few weeks for eggs. Once you do get eggs, remove them as quickly as possible because they will dry out. A lot of us, whenever we're breeding and ready to start breeding, we've got camera systems going so we know when our females are gravid and when they're laying, and so that helps us achieve being able to get the eggs out in a timely manner. When you pull the eggs out, do not rotate them. You want to, say, pick it up. If this was an egg, you want to pick it up just like so and place it into a container just like so. There are tons of containers out on the market today, and as a matter of fact, to be completely honest with you, you could use a Tupperware dish, put a little bit of vermiculite in the bottom, moisten down the vermiculite, pop some holes in the lid, and set your eggs down in there. However, I'm going to say shout out to Squamata Concepts. They own a company called Sim Container, which makes the best incubation container on the market, hands down, worldwide, globally. I mean, it's just, you can't get any better than them. So I don't work for these guys, but I think they're amazing. So just shout out to you, Alex and John. Y'all built an amazing company. Keep up the great work. We all love your product. Let's see, you're gonna have them for about, eggs should sit somewhere around 60 days. Huh? No. Let me think that again. Around 45 days, because you're around anywhere from 45 to 60. The normal is around 45 days. Around 6 weeks is about the pair. Make sure you're watching your temp hardcore when you're incubating. Temperatures will dictate whether or not you're going to have a male or a female, and could potentially dictate whether or not your animal is aggressive and will or will not reproduce. So for instance, 70s, high 70s, low 80s, you're going to guarantee yourself a female. Guarantee yourself a female. If you can stay mid 80s to high 80s, you will guarantee yourself a male. Unfortunately, if you go any higher than that, 9.9 times out of 10, you are going to end up with what they call a hot female, meaning you overcooked your eggs at too big of a heat, you're turning their chromosomes completely female, and you've completely screwed their reproduction system. So usually when you get what's called a hot female, that happens when your temperatures are well above where they're supposed to be, and you end up with a leopard gecko that is 100% female, very aggressive, and will not breed for you. So it is not at all worth it to have one of those. Not me as a breeder want to see that outcome. I don't want to sell that type of animal. Nobody wants to buy an aggressive animal. Especially, you know, in the breeder side of the world, if we find an aggressive animal or one that doesn't look the best, see, that doesn't change. That doesn't stop us from thinking, well, that one can produce. I may not be able to handle her very well, and I may not be able to get the best looks out of her aesthetically. But she's got genetics that are going to play into a very beautiful line. So you can't do that if you've screwed a reproduction system and have an aggressive female. And again, nobody's going to want to buy that, because I can't walk up and go, well, she's aggressive, but that's okay, she'll make a great breeder. Well, no, she won't. And so you've got really a waste of an animal, a waste of a reptile that, you know, I myself as a breeder am going to be very disappointed about creating, and you would be too if you created something like such, because you're not going to be able to sell it or even find it a home. Adoption, finding it a home, maybe go to a sanctuary or something like that, but nobody's going to want it as their personal pet and have a look. Everybody wants a lovey baby just like this. Let's see. Again, eggs should hatch out between 6 weeks and 8 weeks. You should have anywhere between 2 to 20 eggs per lay within a 1 month period. I'm going to say I've never seen these guys lay just a ton. Of course, I've not like just mastered being a leopard gecko breeder. I've not just bred them. So the most I've seen is about 4 clutches a year, but I've been told that they can go more. Again, when breeding, I don't know. There's a lot of people that do it for the fun of it. I would like to say doing it for the education of it. There's a lot of people out there that breed for the really cool morphs and the really cool patterns, which is what I'm getting at. And that's super amazing. For me, I'm not into, as far as leopard geckos go, breeding to try and create like really cool coloristic morphs. Although I do think they're super gorgeous. Again, for me, I'm like that with my monitors and such, because that's where I want to be breeding. So, yeah, I think when it comes to breeding, it's all about what you want out of it and what it is you're wanting to learn. So I'm not trying to produce just stupid amounts of leopard geckos because they're what I enjoy breeding. I've produced them just to show and prove to myself that I can make that happen, that I can produce viable eggs and viable babies. And that's led me to try and breed other things and, try my hand out at bigger, better projects, which is where we're on to now. So stay tuned, and we'll bring you more awesome videos. Y'all have a great one.